Roses are red, violets are blue. We learned a lot in business ethics. How about you? We want to share what we've learned in 3 months short by going way back to the group incident report. We took another look at our ethical conflict and thought of how ethical principles apply. One stuck out, then it all clicked. When hiring employees, there are rights to abide.
While working at Stryker Limited, a small rap label looking to land new, hip clients, Lil Bacon had a close professional relationship with the CEO and was tasked with the hiring of new label recruiters. Under the supervision of Lil Bacon, the new recruits would help Stryker Limited sign new and upcoming rappers. Towards the end of the hiring process, the CEO, Big Butcher, informed Lil Bacon that the training costs of label recruiters were rising ruthlessly, which could eventually bankrupt the company. Because Stryker Limited was planning to go public in the future, Big Butcher requested that the last 5 candidates Lil Bacon hired be friends, so Lil Bacon could personally train them based on his skill set, and this was to reduce the cost of formal recruitment training. Lil Bacon was confronted with an ethical conflict of deciding between 2 right choices. The first option was for Lil Bacon to hire 5 unqualified friends who would receive no formal training, which would save the company from potential bankruptcy and thereby please Big Butcher. Alternatively, Lil Bacon could host a standard hiring process to hire 5 qualified candidates who would receive formal training but risk bankruptcy and Lil Bacon's sweet standard of crispy living. Lil Bacon is concerned about the rights of the individuals involved in his decision. He wants to make his decision so as to not violate anyone's rights, so he starts doing some thinking. Lil Bacon realizes this may be more difficult than he imagined since there are many kind of rights at play.
A right is an entitlement to something. Rights can't exist without duties. If someone has a right to something or to be free from something, then someone else has a duty to either provide that something, called a positive right, or a duty not to interfere with another's pursuit of something, called a negative right. For example, the United Nations states that everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work. Sometimes whether the duties associated with the right are positive or negative, it is debated or up for interpretation. In Lil Bacon's scenario, Stryker Limited has the duty to pay all of its recruiters who do the same job the same amount. Thus, it could be deemed a positive right since another party has a duty to provide equal pay. There are 3 main types of rights: legal, contractual, and human or moral rights, all of which apply to the decision Lil Bacon is facing. All of these rights could either be positive rights or negative rights. Lil Bacon's decision is ethically undesirable if it violates someone's rights or contributes to conditions that may result in someone's rights being violated.
Legal rights are derived from particular legal systems. Such rights are limited to the jurisdiction within which the particular legal system exists. Therefore, unlike human rights, which are universally granted to the individuals, legal rights in this particular problem are framed in Canadian jurisdiction. In this scenario, Lil Bacon did not violate the qualified candidate's legal rights. This results from favoritism being not subjected to the prohibited grounds of discrimination. Therefore, it does not provide those who qualify with a legal basis to challenge Lil Bacon's decision. Some of the legal rights relevant to Lil Bacon's decision are as follows. By ignoring the importance of workplace training, Big Butcher violates rights of providing a safe working environment. As an employer, Big Butcher has a legal obligation to provide employees with health and safety training. By ignoring this responsibility, Big Butcher could face legal repercussions, an increase in occurrence of workplace accidents, and increased absence. Since the unqualified candidates would still get some sort of training, then not paying them during the training is also illegal, as it violates the Employment Standards Act. Such act is in place to ensure that employers compensate employees during the training program. Therefore, from the legal rights perspective, Lil Bacon's action of hiring unqualified friends is legally justified, as long as those individuals get proper training and are paid during the training period.
In contrast to legal and contractual rights, human or moral rights are rights people receive just for being human. Therefore, moral rights are universal and granted to all individuals, regardless of the legal jurisdiction in which they reside or the contracts they have signed. Sometimes moral rights are written down, like in the UN's Declaration of Human Rights, but other times they exist informally as hypernorms in societies. However, rights can be simultaneously moral, legal, and contractual of any combination. For example, employees' right to pay equity is captured in the UN's Declaration of Human Rights, in the Canadian Human Rights Act, and in the employment contracts signed between Stryker Limited and its employees. Some of the other moral rights relevant to Lil Bacon's decision are as follows. According to the UN, all recruiters Lil Bacon hires have the right to favorable conditions of work, which may be violated if either A. His friends are hired and are not trained properly and cannot do their jobs properly or feel incompetent as a result, or B. Formally trained employees are held to a higher standard or are looked upon negatively by management due to their cost to Stryker Limited. Hypernorms also expect organizational decision-makers to make hiring decisions in good faith and to treat employees equally without favoritism. Therefore, Lil Bacon has a duty to make his hiring choice in good faith and not as a result of favoritism. This would violate the candidate's right to be evaluated based on legitimate discrimination only, like experience or interview performance. Alternatively, putting Lil Bacon in this situation, Big Butcher is contributing to the violation of Lil Bacon's rights. Lil Bacon may have unfavorable conditions of work by being held accountable for the entire financial future of the firm and for being made responsible for individually training new employees. From a rights perspective, Lil Bacon hiring his friends just because they would cost less to train is ethically undesirable because it violates moral rights.
So, here's some facts we wish you knew. Lil Bacon rhymes better than you. Sometimes ethical, sometimes not. Eat him quick or else he'll rot. When we look at rights, we must be sure we don't cut ends or Lil Bacon might sue. And now you know how the story goes. If you focus on the drawings, he has no toes. By now you noticed we skipped contractual rights. Stryker is the name and it's the best of all bikes. Unless we forget about Cefa's car, Stryker de Meara, the fastest by far. Bonne nuit.